and I'm here in the Thermomix Middle East office to introduce to you the Thermomix Sensor, which just recently arrived here in our offices. So the Sensor is a new accessory that Thermomix have introduced due to requests from customers actually to have accessories which can help take our cooking further than just the Thermomix itself. So with the Sensor, you can help cook steak, fish, breads, cakes, all to perfection. So you can master when the temperature is just right inside. So if you like your steak cooked well done, you put your sensor in, you can set the settings so that it will cook it just to that kind of temperature. You could use it for a cake. So if you want to make a lava cake and you want to make sure that you take it out of the oven just at the right time so it's nice and gooey inside when you cut it, you could do your settings exactly for that. So we're going to test this one today. I'm going to start this morning with a steak. And I have a friend from CarniStore here in Dubai with me today who's going to teach us lots of stuff about doing meat and the type of quality of meats you should be getting, what you can get at CarniStore, and how we can best cook them. So let me introduce you to Dan Wanies from CarniStore and with this fabulous piece of meat that he's got here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi Dan, welcome
Thanks
to
for having
Thermomix
me.
Middle East.
Thank you very much. I have I'm not sure you can see this, but it's a nicely marbled ribeye steak.
Oh, it looks amazing, yeah.
Large, a little above 400 grams.
Okay.
So with a cut like this, it is important actually that we use this meat thermometer. And even a seasoned cook like myself, I like to use these thermometers just to make sure that I get it exactly right, take all the guesswork out of it. So this being
it's
about...
quite thick as well, so it would be hard to know, wouldn't it, if you were just cooking it from sight.
It'd be hard to know. I mean, it'd be hard to know. You'd have to know also, you know, the pan that you're using, the stove that you're using, all of these variables go into it. So for example, if you're not cooking in a familiar environment, if you're cooking at a friend's house or whatever, all those things go out the window because you're not in your comfort zone. So maybe you have it that in your kitchen, in my kitchen, on very high heat, on this pan using this fat, it's exactly 3 minutes per side, and then I rest it and whatnot. But with something like this, and the beauty of this thermometer is that it's wireless. I could just look at my phone, have it on my phone on the app, or integrate it with the Thermomix if I've got the TM6, right? And it just tells me, and it alerts me, beep, 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 hey, you've reached your temperature, take it out. The other beauty of it is that it lets you take out your steak or whatever it is that you're cooking early. So if I said it, I want it medium rare at 55 degrees Celsius internal, it will prompt me to take it out at about 51 or 52 because it knows that while I'm resting it, it's still going to come up to temperature. So it's a very intelligent technology.
So clever, so clever. And so today, what are we going to do with this steak in particular? So this was a ribeye?
Yeah, this
400 gram ribeye?
Yeah, this is a ribeye, a little more than 400 grams. So what we're going to do is season it. I brought somewhere, Carney rub here, which is our just general house rub. And what I like to do is, before I apply any rub, is I like to apply a little bit of binder.
And what kind of things would you use as a binder?
So we have olive oil on hand, which is a little expensive. So I would use like a yellow mustard, for example, at home, something you know, cheap and that acts kind of like an adhesive. I'm going to use my one left hand. I'll keep my right hand clean.
And mustard wouldn't affect the flavor.
No, very little because this is on the surface, right? And on the surface, when you add it to the pan to sear, it's kind of gonna burn off any of that acidity or that pungent mustard flavor that you might associate with it. So with this rub, I like to go very liberal because it's also a thick cut of meat.
Oh, and what's in the rub? Do you know what consists of?
It's an age-old secret. No. There are two different peppers. Their salt is paprika, and a bunch of other spices.
Have you come across togarashi?
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me, follows any of my things on Thermomix will know I absolutely love togarashi. I haven't tried it on a steak, but
it kind of looks like this, doesn't it?
It does look very much like
Is that what reminded you?
Similar colours and everything,
Yeah, so we
just
like
has
to
a little
go.
bit of heat in it as well. Does it have anything spicy in it?
Well, no, it's the black pepper and the red pepper a little bit. There is a little bit of spice. We use a Spanish smoked paprika as well.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of cumin for the earthiness.
Okay.
But all whole ingredient powders. There are no seed oils or anything like that.
So as you're putting it on, I say you only put it on the top. Do you have to do anything around the sides?
You can. So with any thicker than this, I would. But what I generally do, if it's like this, is I just roll it around in the
with what's fallen off.
With what's fallen off. That way, I haven't wasted anything that's on there already.
Oh, it looks great already like that, doesn't it?
Right. So look at that. I mean, that to me already looks good enough
it looks
to
fantastic.
eat right now, right? So yeah, and that would be ready.
How long would you leave it like that? Would you do this how far in advance of cooking the steak?
So it really depends. It depends on the thickness of the steak. With this, you can put it right on the pan. With a thicker steak, I like to let the salt absorb into the steak, and then the moisture comes out, is drawn out of the steak about a half hour. But you don't have to do that. And to most people, you won't notice much of a difference on a steak of this size. On a thicker steak, I would say leave it for some time to absorb.
Okay. So if you were doing something even bigger, fillet or something bigger than just a steak like that, how would?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a fillet is big. I would say a tenderloin would be just thicker, but it would be about there in terms of the diameter. But I would do a similar thing. The only thing with the tenderloin is it's more like a dice. You have 6 sides to it, so you need to season all of those sides. Okay. Make sure that you get it really well, because it sits like that. So all around that circumference, you need to get even seasoning, or else, being very thick, you're not going to get. You might have blandness in the middle, and you don't want that. You want like an even saltiness.
Flavor all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're ready.
And with this one, we're going to use the Thermomix sensor in there to manage the temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pull it out and show everyone how we do this.
So it's even magnetic, so you can store it on the fridge. You don't lose it. Wonder where you put it.
That's super cool.
So clever.
Yeah.
And this part will stand. So we just open it up here. Take it on the top. There you go.
Yeah, and this is really cool, because you just put it in the oven. You don't need to worry about the wire sticking out or anything. I love the wireless aspect of it, and I love that it charges inside the case.
Yeah, inside there.
When
you
you
have
put
to
it
make sure you don't lose this part at the bottom.
So here, I'm putting it in right in the middle here.
And how far in does it need to go?
So there's a line here. It tells you that it needs to go at least into that line. So you just push it in, and right about there, you can see that it's still sticking out. You have that much.
Maybe 2 inches.
Yeah, and make sure just this doesn't touch the edge of your pan or anything else. There should be some clarity, some distance there. But that's good. It's in the innermost part, about to here. Yeah. And it's nice and centered. So that's going to give me a good reading on the temperature of my steak. Okay, and this one today we're gonna cook this in the oven, or it's in a pan on it depends. Again, it depends on your pan. It depends on the cooking style that you like. I would put it in the oven for a little bit. I would sear it first. So we're gonna add some fat to the pan. I brought some beef tallow.
Okay, what is beef tallow?
So beef tallow is rendered beef fat. Okay. So for me, it is the absolute best way to cook beef.
All right, and this is available in CarniStore?
Yes,
okay, great.
Yes, it is. It has a variety of uses. You can even apply it to your skin if you happen to get a burn in the kitchen, and there's no better burn remedy. Brilliant. But this is great for cooking. I always recommend, because steak is a high heat cooking ingredient, I always recommend either beef tallow or butter ghee. Butter ghee can be found everywhere. Beef tallow, it's just, I think we're the only ones that have it.
You can even make your own ghee in the Thermomix, side note. Okay.
Nice.
So now for our steak today, so we need to get the pan heated up here. Yes. Get that to a high temperature.
Yes. Get it to a high temperature. Add your fat. Wait until it's hot, nice and hot. Yeah. Sear both sides.
Do you add the fat as you're heating the pan?
No, I add it first. No. Add it first, then heat the pan.
Okay. Yeah. And is there a reason for that?
So a lot of pans can actually warp if you just leave them on the heat without a fat inside. Okay. So that the liquid inside kind of regulates that and prevents any warping, especially any pans that might have any kind of coating. They might have a tendency to warp. So I always add the fat first.
All right. And how much fat would you put in for a steak this kind of size?
Liberal. Go liberal.
Oh yeah, like a tablespoon more?
I'd even go 2.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Because then you can also lean the pan and baste it. As well, which I like to do. That gets you an even nicer crisp, a deep dark mahogany crisp.
Oh, excellent! That sounds good.
Yeah.
Right, should we do it?
Yeah, I'll wash my hands and we'll get to it.
We're gonna go for beef, steak, ribeye.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell me which one we're gonna do.
I'm gonna do it right there, 55. Okay, and start. It's telling you to put the probe, which we've already done. Okay. Yep, and pan's on, so I'm just gonna add some nice few dollops there. right?
Whoa,
That's
makes
good.
me think of Christmas using like goose fat or
Right,
things like
right,
that,
right,
duck
right.
fat.
Yeah,
Okay.
this would be
I've
very,
never used this before.
very, very similar kind of thing. And then we just wait for it to not just melt, but then get nice and hot.
Should even use the Thermomix spatula if you want. If you want to
Oh.
move that around, there you go.
Never used it for that, but why not, right?
Why not? Okay, and
Yeah.
so tell me a bit more about CarniStore. How long have they been operating here in
So,
UAE?
yeah, I'm one of the founders actually, and we founded about 6 years ago. Actually, to the month, we're celebrating 6 years.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Only 6, you know. But it was more of a necessity breeds innovation type of concept. There were a lot of things I grew up loving to barbecue, loving to grill, and so I wanted to supply the cuts of meat that I wanted to buy myself, right?
Yeah.
So it was like I want to create something where I would be a customer.
Yeah.
I would be the ideal quintessential customer of this brand. And so we created on several pillars, one of which was sourcing superior genetics, ethically sourcing as well, and then sourcing with regenerative sustainability in mind. Animal welfare is big for us, but really also the genetics. It has to be a really good eating experience. And finally,
and where does a lot of your meat come from, or do you source from all over the world?
All over, based on certain programs, right?
Yeah.
So we don't check the country. I mean, we check more what that country in terms of the climate, in terms of the genetics of the animals, and in terms of the feed program. Those are 3 things we check. We travel a lot, witness the animals, the husbandry, the slaughter itself, and see how things are happening.
Okay.
And that plays a big role.
That's huge then, isn't it? Because it's
course.
not just beef that you supply on CarniStore, is it?
No,
What
no,
else do you
no,
have on there?
no.
Huge variety.
Yeah. We have chicken, lamb, turkey, all sorts of. We just want to be the go-to one-stop shop for all things meat, all things protein.
And it's available. So it's available for your average customer
Joe?
at home, your average person like that, or you supply commercially as well?
We do. There were about at the time of this recording, about 40 different B2B customers that we supply as well. We supply a lot of burgers. A lot of burgers that you might eat not knowing might be CarniStore beef. We tailor make different recipes for different people. We supply steaks into several restaurants as well.
So I was having a look at the website the other day, and I was telling you earlier, it's fantastic, an amazing amount of information that's on there. Me, I'm really not very good with meats, and I don't really know what the cuts and different things I should use, or kind of, what is a fatty piece of meat, or if it would be really, I've heard of terms like, like a marble, or it could be grainy. I wouldn't know much about it, but I was amazed the amount of information that's available on the website itself. So if you're looking up and you think, well, what would I use that for? It will give you instructions on how you could cook it best. All sorts of different things, or maybe different rubs and sauces that would go with it, or the sides and things you could do too. Really, really impressed. It was great.
Yeah.
Really makes it user friendly for people who maybe not so confident for cooking meat.
Yeah.
So
I think that's one of the main questions we get a lot of the time is just, how do I cook this?
Yeah.
Right? How would I cook it?
Yeah.
So I think a lot more videos like this will be helpful.
Brilliant.
I think we might be ready to drop our steak in.
Okay,
so you can see our fat is smoking now. And the reason I say use a high smoke point fat like a butter ghee or a tallow is because tallow smokes at 250 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Whereas olive oil and butter, 150. They're low smoke point. Don't use those. But now that it's smoking like this, I know the second I drop it in, you're going to hear...
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to go about 2.5 minutes aside right now on this. It may splatter, so be careful.
Okay.
But again, these are there's a benefit risk reward to everything. So
will you do the sides, the edges as well with the tongs? You'll hold and do like that too.
I'll show you a nice little trick as well for some people feel like they have to hold it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Again, be patient with it. You don't want to turn it too early and it's still a little gray and then you have to go back again. It's nice to just be patient. I would time it at least 2 minutes. Yeah. Then you're going to get a nice color.
So if I wanted to set a timer here, just to be sure, the little arrow at the top there like that, and I'm going to press the timer on here and I'm going to set it here for just 2 minutes. Okay.
After about 2 minutes, we can flip.
And it's okay that it's still really smoky like that. You don't have to worry about that.
Yep. So you see that nice dark color that it's gotten, right? And give it another 2 minutes on this side.
So if I was to order something like this today, like what's your delivery?
Yeah, you'd get it today. You'd get it today.
Oh, brilliant.
We also have a bullet service if you're in a real hurry, which is like you just click on the bullet logo and it's our 35 most popular items, and you can get them within 90 minutes.
Wow, brilliant.
Order.
Okay, oh, that's
so
great.
That's
really good if you're kind of last minute and having a panic.
They've already come and you're like, oh, do I not have enough food?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It happens sometimes, and there's nothing worse. Yeah, you just go on www.CarniStore.com or download the app, the CarniStore app on your phone, and you'll see there.
Oh, you got an app for it as well.
Yeah,
There's an app for that. Brilliant.
There's an app.
Yeah.
There's an app. Yeah.
So in fact, while this is going, we've got the timer going on the Thermomix, but actually in that time, you could be whizzing up a salad or something like that to go along with this at the same time. Beetroot salad, broccoli salad, red pepper and pine nuts, they could all be done within the 2 minutes of cooking the steak. In fact, you can probably do both of them if you have the ingredients prepped in advance.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now.
That's our timer, just in time to turn it over. Oh, he's getting the tricks for doing the side.
Yeah, if I can just. So there is a way to actually do this where you can pull this and let it rest like that.
Oh,
so
look at that trick
you just pull the tongue and you can let it rest like that. So people feel like they have to hold it and their hand's getting hot.
Yeah.
No, not really. If you can master this trick, it's pretty cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so you can just leave it 1 minute on this side and 1 minute on the other side, and then what are we at on temperature?
What's the purpose of doing this to the steak anyway before you're going to put it in the oven?
So the sear is your magical. So the magical experience of a steak is that you get a crisp on the outside and a nice pink center, and that is kind of a balance of your textures, right? Because texture is taste, right? You have the flavor and you have the texture, and those two combine. And so with the steak, you really want that magical formula of crisp outside, tender inside. So this is why we make sure that we sear all sides, right?
And if you were doing this on the braai or on the barbecue, would you do the same thing? You would do this in a pan here first before you put it on there? You would do that all out
Open fire is a different story. Open fire, for a steak like this, I would just go on the, I'd leave it on there. With the thermometer, I would just make sure that the flames aren't on the thermometer on the back of it because it could damage it. Just, you have the nice flames coming up, flip it, and then wait to come up to temperature. What are we at?
We're at 25 degrees actually now. So when we put that on there before,
it was 12.
It was 11, 12.
Yeah.
So that's come up to 25, doubled in those 3, 4, 5 minutes that we've been just searing that off.
So what we want to do now is basically, let's get it in the oven, because you see that it's going to be hard to get it up to 50 on the pan,
so we're aiming for 55.
Unless you cover your pan. But right now we're just going to go in the oven. All right.
And we're using these fabulous German aluminium pans where you can leave it in there and take the handle off.
Yep, handle comes off. We leave it in.
Okay, that one we can turn off, can't we?
Yep.
And then, because we've preset this to 55 degrees, now tell me, is 55 that is medium?
No, so 55 means that internal temperature would be about a medium rare. However, if you pull it at 55, it's going to go up to medium. Okay. So with the beauty of this, again, at 55, about 50, 51, I'm guessing, it's going to tell me take it out.
Okay.
Right?
Yep,
and so
that when it rests.
So that when it rests, it will come up to 55 internal, because it will keep cooking. It will keep, the heat will keep coming towards the center from the outside after you pull it.
And 55 was medium rare.
Yes, which is why it's very important to rest.
Yeah.
Right? Don't just pull it out and cut into it right away.
Okay.
No, you're going to stop that cooking process. It's going to be tense muscle fibers when you cut into it. Don't do that. And
how long, when you leave a meat to rest, how long do you leave it for like that?
For me, I go about a minute per 100 grams at least, 1 to 2 minutes per 100 grams. So for a steak like this, I would go minimum 5, maybe up to 7. All right.
Wow, so that was really fast, in fact. So now we're at 49.
And it's saying less than 1 minute because it's not going to get to 55. It's going to tell me to pull it probably right when it hits 50.
Okay. So we're getting ready.
Yeah.
And the good thing with those pans, look, we don't need to use this. Like that. Because we're just going to put the handle back on and take it out like that. So core is at 51.
Yep, I'm going to take it out.
You're going to do it?
Yep.
Or you can hear it sizzling like that. It told you on here, it's saying ready to rest.
Yes, ready to rest.
So Dan knew exactly what he was doing there, like
Yeah.
that.
All right, I'm gonna let it rest right there. Some of those nice crusty bits came off, but that's fine. So, and you'll see it as it rests.
Yeah.
It's still going up, 53. It's gonna continue to go up.
Oh yeah, the temperature is still here.
Yeah,
The core has gone up to 54.
54. It might even exceed that 55, so I might next time even pull it a little earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will continue to go up, and then eventually it'll stop there. Maybe around 56. There we go. We're at 55.
55, and it's given us another minute of resting time.
Yeah.
No, and it's kept it at 2 again then.
Another 2 minutes. Yeah, but that's the reason you see that we really need to rest it and pull early. Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Presumably you have to remember and remove that sensor before you start slicing it.
Yeah, that won't be good because you're not going to break the sensor, but you will dull your knife.
So if you're cooking a steak, you might like to have a sauce or something like that to go with it. You might not need it for something like what we've just done today with the rub and everything on it too, but if you fancy a little sauce to go with it, there are hundreds of options on Cookie Doo. So I was having a look at one earlier. This is a steak here actually with a peppered Parmesan sauce and with some Roquefort potatoes. So they might be a lovely side to go with it if you didn't fancy a salad. So I'm gonna make this while we're leaving that one to rest. Okay, so that's rested and ready to go.
Rested, ready to go? We
Let's
just
do it.
pull out the thermometer here.
Okay.
So I'll just keep that hand clean.
Oh, so that sensor comes out super easy like that as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think you just give this a little wipe down and then put it back in its little box to charge.
Yeah.
And you're ready for the next time.
Yeah,
eh?
exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Make sure that it's making contact on the charging port though, so that you don't get a dead one next time you come open it. And then we just carve this up. I'll move these herbs to the side. And you always want to carve, if you're right-handed, start from the right side of the steak. Use your fingers as a guide. And I always like to go about centimeter thick slices. You can see that we got that spot on. I'm gonna pull up a slice in a minute now. All right.
I'm suddenly very hungry.
You know what?
Oh, it looks so good.
Doing this for a long
It
time.
smells amazing. That's the hardest part that you don't see on the camera. You can't,
Yeah, and you can see
smell
right
it.
there that we got that nice pink
Brilliant,
all the way across. And again, it depends if you like it
I suppose to your taste.
more
isn't it?
pink, like I like it more
Yeah.
pink, but this would be how I think most people, you know, you have those people that are like, I want it well done. You're like, wait a minute, you know, try it my way.
Yeah.
And then you make it a little bit kind of medium to medium well. And then there are people that are like, hey, I want it still mooing.
I've heard of chefs saying people might send something back to the kitchen, say it's not cooked enough, and they won't do it to the meat. They can't do it like that.
Yeah. I remember I had an experience in France, you know, where else? Where, you know, my mother was saying, hey, no, I asked for it medium well. And he said, this is our medium well.
She couldn't have been French then.
No, she definitely isn't.
They would like it blue, wouldn't they?
He said, "This is our medium well, madame," and he walked off promptly. You know, but yeah, there is. I do understand that because you have a good quality piece of meat. You want it to, you know, be eaten in a way that it should be eaten. Yeah. In my humble opinion.
Well,
there we go.
That's amazing, amazing. A bit tricky.
You ready?
Not to just grab it, please. Have a go.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting that bit with the with all the flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a more middly piece right here. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So tasty. It's so soft. Fabulous. Thank you, Dan. Thanks, CarniStore.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
So that's our steak done. Sensor's just been wiped clean, and I'm going to put it back in its charging station so it's ready to go for the next time. Just be aware that you need to slot it in through this little gap here on the front, and then like that, it will push back into place and it'll be charging, ready for the next time.